Okay, retaining wall design, sorry, design of cantilever retaining wall. Okay, we'll start with this. Okay, so you may have seen this type of structure, you may have seen this type of structure whenever you will be traveling by road alongside the hill area. You can see such type of constructions are done. Why these type of constructions are done? Because this will prevent the fall of this soil, this will prevent the fall of this particular soil on the upstream of this retaining wall, on the upstream of this retaining wall. So it will be retaining this soil mass, this particular structure or this retaining wall, will be retaining the earthwork on the upstream side of this particular wall. So this particular portion or this particular this particular construction which is done here, this is considered as a retaining wall because it is retaining the hill slope, it is retaining the hill slope, therefore it is considered as a retaining wall. Okay, you can again see here, there is some hill portion or hill slope is here on this side, and this particular wall, this is constructed here to retain this particular soil mass. So it is called as a retaining wall, it is called as a retaining wall, it is called as a retaining wall. Okay, I'll show some more pictures to you so it will be clear for you. You can see here some retaining wall structure. This is a retaining wall structure. It will be retaining the soil mass or hill portion from this side, so it is failed due to some extra pressure or it is either not designed properly, therefore it is failing. Okay, so this is considered as a retaining wall. Again you can see here for this particular bridge, you can see here this wing wall is constructed, here. What is the purpose of providing this wing wall? Here you can see some hill area is here, on this side, and this particular wing wall, it is retaining the slope of this particular hill area. Okay, so the basic purpose of retaining wall is retain material. Okay, so what are we'll see some contents like this. First we'll see what is a retaining wall, then parts of retaining wall, types of retaining wall, and yeah, we'll see up to this point only. This is not that much important for this design. Okay, so what is a retaining wall? You can see here the definition is given. Retaining wall is a structure that holds or retains soil behind it. It is called as a retaining wall. You can see here in this particular picture, this particular RCC wall, this RCC wall is provided here to retain some soil mass on the other side of this particular wall, which is not visible in this particular picture. Okay, the retaining walls can be constructed with different types of materials such as RCC, PCC, concrete blocks, or timber, or boulder, or even it can be constructed with rocks. Okay, what are the uses of retaining wall? The retaining walls are generally used for construction of building basement. It can be used as a wing wall or abutment of bridge construction. It can be used in the construction of embankment. Okay, I'll show some more pictures to you so it will be clear to you. Okay, you can see here some basement is being constructed here. Some basement work is going on here, and you can see here, this is the retaining wall. This wall is being constructed. This is again a retaining wall being constructed. Why it is constructed? Because this particular construction is done below the ground level. Therefore, for retaining the whatever soil mass is there on this particular portion and behind this particular wall, this type of retaining wall is constructed. Okay, yeah, you can again see here, this is a basement area, and in this basement area you can see such type of retaining wall is constructed. This type of retaining wall is constructed for retaining the soil mass on the other side of this particular structure or building or room. Okay, again you can see here this particular portion is, this is the ground level, this is the ground level, here we have the ground level, and for retaining this particular ground level and construction of foundation and basement in this particular area, this type of retaining wall is constructed. This retaining wall is again constructed. Here you can see some retaining walls are being constructed for retaining the natural ground level or soil at the natural ground level. You can again see here, okay, just a minute, this picture, I'll delete this. Okay, you can see here in this particular picture some road is being run here. The road is running like this, the road is running like this, and you can see the hill slope is there on this side, the hill slope is there on this side, at the same time the hill slope is there on this side. You can see the for the embankment of this road, for this embankment, okay, you can see one wall is being constructed, one wall like this, it is being constructed here, one wall like this, it is being constructed here for retaining this particular embankment or soil mass or whatever the materials required for road construction. All that material are retained by this particular retaining wall. So here the purpose is to retain the embankment, of your road. Here again you can see here, some hill area is here, and some road is running like this. Okay, so for retaining this particular soil mass of this hill area, this particular retaining wall is constructed. You can see here. Okay. Again here you can see some retaining wall structure. Here we have a retaining wall for retaining the soil. On the other side of this retaining wall, you can see here some soil mass is here. Okay, soil or rock or any material is there. Okay, you can see here again some wing wall is here. You can see this wing wall is here, this wing wall is here. Okay, this can also be considered as a retaining wall because this will be retaining this soil mass, this will be retaining this particular soil mass and preventing failing of this particular soil mass in this particular area, okay. Same situation is here, you can see here for this rail, okay, retaining wall is constructed here, because this particular rail is below the ground level. I think probably the ground level is this is the ground level, and this rail is below the ground level. Therefore this particular retaining wall is constructed for retaining the ground or soil mass on the other side of this particular retaining wall. Same situation is here. Now what are the different terms related with these retaining walls are there? Okay, so if this is a retaining wall, if let us consider this is a retaining wall is constructed here, then whatever the soil mass which is retained by this particular retaining wall, okay, this will be called as a backfill. It is called as a backfill. This soil mass is called as a backfill, and this particular side on which the backfill is present, this particular side on which the backfill is present, okay, this is considered as upstream side. Of your retaining wall, and on the other side where the soil mass is not present, it is considered as a downstream side of your retaining wall. So this particular soil mass, it is considered as a backfill. Now this particular backfill, this can be horizontal. You can see in this particular picture the backfill is horizontal. Okay, sometimes there may be possibility this backfill is having some slope. It may be having some slope like this. Okay, this soil mass may be like this. So this particular soil mass above the horizontal surface, it is considered as a surcharge. Okay, so two terms are there. The first one is backfill. backfill are of two types. First is horizontal, and second one is your this inclined backfill. You can consider this as inclined backfill. You can consider it as a inclined backfill, and the area of this inclined backfill above the horizontal backfill, it is considered, this particular portion of soil mass, it is considered as surcharge. It is considered as surcharge. Okay. Yeah, we have already discussed this. What is the purpose of retaining wall? You can see here, for this retaining wall, the soil mass is horizontal. This soil retained by this particular retaining wall, it is horizontal. So here the type of backfill is horizontal backfill. The type of backfill is horizontal backfill. Again, in this particular picture, you can see here, this is your retaining wall, and the soil mass, here you can see it is having some angle. So this particular portion, it is considered as a surcharge. And this retaining wall is considered to be subjected to a backfill of inclined backfill. It is considered as inclined backfill, and this particular portion above the horizontal surface, it is considered as a surcharge. Okay, now what are different parts of retaining walls are there? What are different parts of retaining walls are there? So first part is considered as, this is a base slab. This is the base slab of your retaining wall. The base slab is divided into two parts. Okay, here on this side we will be having earth fill or soil mass. We will be having earth fill or soil mass, which is distributed like this. Okay, so backfill will be there. This is considered as, this is your backfill. Okay, so this is your upstream side, or on the area in which backfill is present. Okay, so the portion of this base slab towards the backfill is considered as hill slab. It is considered as hill slab. So this particular area, the area of this base slab in this particular region, it is considered as a hill slab. And on the other side of this particular retaining or hill slab, this particular portion on the downstream side is considered as a toe slab. So this particular portion is considered as a toe slab. Now this vertical wall which will be directly in contact with the soil mass, which is to be retained, this particular vertical wall, it is called as a stem. So we have two parts here. The first one is base slab. This is base slab, and second one is a stem. Now this particular base slab, it is divided into two parts, that is toe slab and hill slab. Okay, again we may have some shear key like this. In some retaining walls where the check for sliding is failing. We will be providing some shear key or some concrete shear key like this. We will be providing like this here to prevent the failure. Okay, so generally these three parts are there for retaining wall: stem, toe slab and shear key. Okay. Okay, same points. Yeah, one more part is there, that is drainage or weave hole. You can see here, drainage or weave hole. These are provided for drainage of whatever water is there. Okay, here we will be having some backfill. We'll be having some backfill in this particular area. Okay, you can see some backfill will be there, and this backfill will be made up of soils. It will be made up of soil or rocks, etc. Okay, so whenever there will be some rain will be there, this water will be seeping through the soil and it will exert pressure on this particular wall. So this may lead to the failure of this particular wall. So for drainage of whatever water is there in this particular backfill material or soil material, some drainage or weep holes are provided. These weep holes are or drainage holes are provided at an intensity of one weep hole at for 1 square meter area. For 1 square meter area will be generally will be providing one weep hole for retaining walls. Okay. Now different types of retaining walls are there. The first type of retaining wall is a gravity retaining wall. As the name suggests, it is resisting the whatever loads are there on this particular retaining wall by using gravity as a resistive force. Then we have second type of retaining wall as a cantilever retaining wall. Third type of retaining wall is a counterfort retaining wall. And the fourth type of retaining wall is a buttress retaining wall. We'll see one by one. Okay, you can see here, this is one of the type of retaining wall, that is gravity retaining wall. So in this particular type of retaining wall, it is generally constructed with stone masonry or plain concrete, and the main resistive force or the stability to this particular retaining wall is provided by the self weight of this particular retaining wall. Therefore the stone masonry or concrete requirement for this type of retaining wall is very high. It is very high. Okay, the main resistive force will be the self weight of this particular retaining wall. Therefore we will be considering this as a gravity retaining wall. Why? Because the stability force is provided by the dead load of this particular retaining wall. Okay, therefore the dimensions of this particular retaining wall will be large, and thus the requirement of concrete or rock masonry or stone masonry will be high. Okay, this particular retaining wall is so proportioned that no tension is induced in the wall. And this type of retaining wall can be used for a height up to 3 meters. This can be used for retaining structure up to a height of 3 meters. Okay. Second type of retaining wall is a cantilever retaining wall. It is the cantilever retaining wall. This is the most common type of retaining wall, and there are two different types of cantilever retaining walls are there. The first one is the T-shaped retaining wall. You can see here it is inverted T-shaped retaining wall. You can see here it is a T-shape, but only the difference is it is inverted type T-shape retaining wall. And the second type of retaining wall, it is a L-shape retaining wall. You can see here it is a L-shape retaining wall. The backfill will be there here. Backfill will be there here on this side. Okay, on this side. This is the stem of this retaining wall. Okay, so two different types of cantilever retaining walls are there. The first one is T and second one is L. Generally T type of retaining wall is generally used. Okay, why it is considered as cantilever retaining wall, because the whatever earth pressure is there which is coming on this particular retaining wall, this is retained by the bending moment of this particular retaining wall. Because you can see here this particular slab will provide some fixity to the stem. This will provide some fixity to this particular stem, and it will be acting as a cantilever, because whatever pressure is there, the pressure will be something like this, and the final pressure will be something like this. So it will be acting here like this, and it will be bending like this. This particular retaining wall, it is exaggerated shape. This particular retaining wall will be bending like this. So the whatever earth pressure is there, that is resisted by the bending action, and the behavior is a cantilever behavior. Therefore this is considered as a cantilever type of retaining wall. Okay, this type of retaining walls can be used up to a height of 6 meter. It can be used for height more than 6 meter, but it becomes uneconomical, and other options of retaining walls are available there. So we can go for another option of retaining wall. Okay. Now in this type of retaining wall, the weight of backfill on the hill portion, because you can see here on this particular hill slab, on this hill slab will be having soil mass, like this, and this will be providing the, let us consider the weight is W2. Okay, this weight of this hill slab, then weight of this wall or stem, let us consider this is W1, and this will be providing the stability to this particular retaining wall. Okay, the next type of retaining wall is a counter fort retaining wall. Whenever the height of retaining wall is more than 6 meter, this type of retaining walls are constructed. Retaining walls are constructed. You can see here some counter fort retaining wall is shown. We will be having soil mass on this side. And the soil will be exerting pressure in this direction. So what additional is done in comparison with the cantilever retaining wall? The structure is similar to the cantilever retaining wall. One stem is there, one hill slab is there. Only the difference is that we'll be having some counter forts are provided like this, or some stiffener type structures are provided like this at some particular spacing. Okay, so some stiffener type of structures are provided. These are called as counter fort. So such type of counter forts are provided. Okay, this will provide more stability to your retaining wall. Okay, and it will reduce the cost also. Okay, you can see here. Okay, I made some mistake. I think I made some mistake. Okay, sorry. In this type of counter fort retaining wall, you can see here. Yeah. In this slide, I told you that the soil is retained on this side. Okay, that's not correct. The soil will be retained in this particular area. Okay, and the earth pressure will be in this direction, and the counter forts are provided here, so that the stability requirement for this retaining wall can be increased. This is called as counter fort retaining wall. Okay, you can see here. Okay, next in this picture you can see the soil mass is provided here. The soil mass or backfill is provided here, and some counter forts are provided to the cantilever retaining wall. Okay, so it is considered as a counter fort retaining wall. Next type of retaining wall is called as a buttressed retaining wall. In this type of retaining walls, you can see here what we'll be doing. We'll be providing some buttresses. Buttress like structure or some counter fort like structure at particular spacing. This is in plan. Okay, on the downstream side of your retaining wall, or on the toe portion, and the backfill will be on the opposite side, so it will be again increasing the stability of retaining wall. You can again see here some buttresses are provided, and the soil mass is on the other side of this particular retaining wall, and this type of buttresses are provided at some particular spacing. To increase the stability of this particular retaining wall. Similar buttress or retaining wall is shown here. Okay, now what is the earth pressure acting on the retaining wall? Okay, there are two different types of earth pressure will be acting on the retaining wall. The first is active earth pressure, and the second one is a passive earth pressure. When the earth particle exert force among each other, it is known as the earth pressure. When the earth particle exert force among each other, it is considered as earth pressure. Now, when a retaining wall is provided to retain earth mass, the pressure on the wall is developed, and the wall tends to deflect outward. This earth pressure is called as active earth pressure. Now if we have constructed some retaining wall like this soil mass will be exerting some pressure, and due to this earth pressure, what will happen, this will be deflecting like this will be deflecting like this. So this type of pressure which is developed, it is considered as active earth pressure. Due to this particular active earth pressure, the backfill is subjected to tensile force. The backfill soil mass, it is subjected to tensile force. Okay, so this is first type of earth pressure, that is active earth pressure, means the soil mass is exerting pressure on the cantilever retaining wall, or backfill soil mass is exerting pressure on the cantilever retaining wall. Now second is passive earth pressure. Now if there is some undisturbed soil mass on the other side of backfill, this is your backfill, this is your backfill, and if we are having some soil mass on the other side of this particular backfill, okay, you can see here some soil mass is again present on the other side of backfill, what will happen, this soil mass will be exerting some pressure like this on this portion of retaining wall, on this particular portion of retaining wall some force will be acting. So what will happen, this particular retaining wall will tends to move in this direction. So whatever pressure produced by this earth pressure, it is considered as a passive earth pressure, it is considered as a passive earth pressure, and this portion is already covered in your geotechnical engineering. Okay, this is the pressure which is acting on the stem of retaining wall. The pressure will be K gamma H, K into gamma H, where K is the earth pressure coefficient, gamma is the unit weight of this particular soil mass retained by the retaining wall, and H is the height of your retaining wall. Okay. First install this particular Geofy software. The trial version is available free of cost on the internet. Okay, so you can download this particular Geofy software from the website. Okay, you just go to Google and search Geofy software. Okay, you will get the link for downloading the Geofy software. So you can search here in the Google. You can see here this finesoftware.eu. okay, this is the website which at which you can get this Geofy software, and the trial version is available free of cost. You can use this particular trial version for practice. Okay, you can go here under Geofy versions, or you can either download the individual programs. Okay, I have downloaded the standard Geofy software. Okay, here it is the link given for downloading the demo version. Okay, you can see here it is the link given. The website is finesoftware.eu. the website is finesoftware.eu, or you can just search in the Google regarding this Geo5 software, Geo5 software, and you can download the trial version, and you can practice on this particular software. Okay, for using this particular software, what you can do is you can use this particular software for abutment analysis. You can see here, or you can use this particular software for abutment analysis. Then we have different type of, okay, it's not showing, stability analysis. It can be used for excavation design of walls or gabion walls, shallow foundation, deep foundation, settlement analysis, geological surveys, tunnel shaft, then field test, etc. Okay, so we'll start with the design. Okay, for that you have to just open this particular software, that is Geo5 software. Under this, select this cantilever wall, because we'll be designing the cantilever type of retaining wall. So select this cantilever wall, so select this cantilever wall. Okay, the software will initiate. Okay, this type of retaining wall structure will be visible to you when you start your program. Okay, then on the right hand side here you can see a lot of options are given. You can see here 2D is here, you can see here 2D for checking the 2D view, then we have 3D view here. Okay, this particular tab is for moving your structure, this is for zooming in and zooming out. Then we have here this can be used for saving, this can be for blank file, this can be for opening some file. Some other options are given, this is for undo. Okay, this particular option is given for undo, it is given for redo. Okay, this can be used for stages. Okay, on right hand side you can see, on right hand side you can see a lot more options are given here. Okay, first is project, where you can provide the information of your project. The second one is settings, here you can select the code which you require to design. Then you have this geometry, then you have this particular third point, that is geometry. This can be used for selecting the type of retaining wall or whatever structure you are designing. Okay, you can see here, I'll show you. Okay, you can see here different types of retaining walls are available. This type of is there, this type of inclined wall is available here, this type, a lot of type of retaining walls are available here. Okay, so you can select any one. Then material is here, you can provide the unit weight of material which will be retained by your retaining wall. Here you can provide the unit weight here. Then next, profile. Okay, here you can provide what is the profile of your soil mass or backfill. There may be some first layer will be there, it may be a silty clay, having a depth of 0.8 meter, let us consider. Second layer will be there, let us consider it is sandy clay, it may be sandy clay. Then we may have some gravel or poorly graded aggregate. Okay, poorly graded soil. Okay, let us consider it is poorly graded soil, and like this there may be some hard strata here. Okay, or rock will be there. So like this you can provide the soil profile here in this profile section. Then we have soil, then we have assign, here you can assign the soil types to different heights. Then we have water. Okay, here we can provide the depth of water table here, the depth of water table, because if the soil mass is underground, is up this level, let us consider it is underground, and then we will be having some water table at this particular height or depth. Okay, this is water table, then we can provide the height of water table here. Okay, then next is surcharge. I already told you, if there is some surcharge is there, let us consider our retaining wall is something like this and some surcharge is there, the backfill is something like this, or soil is retained like this, then we can provide the surcharge here again. Okay, surcharge can be provided. I'll explain only important steps. Then we have analysis option is here, and after analysis we will be having some design option, analyze option. Okay, so we'll start how we'll be designing. So first we can see this type of retaining walls are just a minute, I'll close this program and start again. Yes, whenever you will be starting your this particular program of cantilever wall design, okay, this type of structure will be available. Okay, so first you have to go to this project. You can see here project option is given here. You can see here project option is given here. It can be used for providing the information of what type of project it is. So task is design cantilever retaining wall. it is very simple. Okay, part, let us consider A, description, GCOE, project ID, let us consider it is GCOE-1. This is the project ID. You can provide here customer name, let us consider Rajesh Thakre. Okay, then we have project number, let us consider it is project number 450. Okay, like this information you can provide. You can select the units here, you can select the unit here, you can select either metric unit or English unit. Will be selecting the metric unit, will be selecting the metric unit. So in project, what you can provide, you can describe the details of your project. Okay, details of you can also provide the date and other things also. Okay, name of project, description of project, name of customer or client, you can provide this particular information here. Then next you have to go to this setting, and in this setting select this select setting, select or click here on this select setting, click here on select setting here, and select this LRFD standard, because for this IS code IS456 is not available. So we'll be selecting this LRFD standard. Here the LRFD full form is load and resistance factor design, So we'll be selecting LRFD, standard, and click on OK, OK. Now with this your settings is completed. Next you have to go to this geometry. You can see here some geometry is given here, so you can go here, select this geometry. Now a lot of different types of geometries are available. You can see here for this particular retaining wall, it is having some stem, like this, it is having a hill slab, and it is having some shear key like this. Here at the it is having a base slab here, heel slab is here, and toe slab is here. On the hill portion you can see some this type of shear key arrangement is provided. Here in this particular type of geometry, no shear key is provided. Here you can see this particular stem, it is inclined with some shear key. Here you in this particular type of geometry, you can see this particular wall, it is inclined and without shear key. Here again you can see the wall is vertical, the base slab is having some shear key and some another horizontal shear key like this. So different types of geometries are available. We'll be selecting any one. So let us consider we'll be selecting this simple cantilever retaining wall. So just click on this, you will be able to see the different dimensions which are auto feed in this particular software, So we'll be starting with the analysis and design of this particular retaining wall. So let us consider the top width of this particular stem wall, this particular wall, it is called as stem wall. So let us consider this particular thickness at the top, this is 0.2 meter. Let us consider we'll be starting the minimum thickness of this retaining wall at the top. This should be minimum 150 mm. This top width, this should be minimum 150 mm. Okay, just a minute. I have some slides over this. Yeah, these are some slides. Okay, I'll explain. Now the base width of your retaining wall. Okay, we'll start with some preliminary dimensioning of retaining wall. Okay, this is how a retaining wall is there. This is how a retaining wall will be there. Okay, this is how the retaining wall will be there. the soil mass will be like this. Let us consider the soil mass is like this. This is your backfill, okay. Then this particular portion, this is your stem, this is your base slab. Now regarding dimension, okay, this total is the total height of retaining wall. This total height of retaining wall is given by the depth of this retaining wall, or underground depth of retaining wall. It is considered as H minimum. Plus height of retaining wall above the ground, So this capital H or this capital H will be equal to this small h plus H minimum, okay. Then next we have base slab or base width. This is the width of base slab or base width, okay. Generally this is 0.4 h to 0.6 h, 0.4 h to 0.6 h, 0.4 h to 0.6 h, sorry. Then thickness of base slab, the thickness of base slab should be minimum 300 mm. This particular thickness, this should be minimum 300 mm, and the thickness of base slab can be calculated by this particular formula, that is h by 12, but this shall be minimum 300, okay. And thickness of stem, this thickness of stem at the top, this should be minimum 150 mm, at the top, and at the bottom this should be minimum 300 mm. At the bottom. These are the some preliminary guidelines for calculating the dimensions of any retaining wall, okay. We'll go here. So we'll start with 0.2 meter. We have provided the top width of this particular retaining wall, stem wall, as 0.2 meter. So I provide here 0.2 meter, okay. Then let us consider the total height. This total height of your retaining wall is 5.6 meter, and let us consider the depth or thickness of this base slab. This base slab is 0.6 meter. Therefore, total height is 5.6. Height above the base slab is 5 meter, and thickness of base slab is 0.6 meter. Okay, let us consider the width. This width is 1.5 meter, and this particular width on the hill portion, this is 3 meter, okay. Now let us provide the slope for this inclined surface of retaining wall. Let us consider the slope is 5.1 is to 1. Let us consider the slope is 5.1 is to 1, which I have provided here, okay, you can see here. So like this we have provided the dimensioning here. Next we have to go to this material. Materials. Just a minute. In geometry, we will be providing this as 4.6 meter. Okay, let us provide this as 4.6 meter. So this total height, this will be 5.2 meter. Okay, so for this particular case, we have to retain a soil mass. Up to a total height of 5.2 meter from the base or from the foundation level. Total height of your retaining wall, this h is equal to 5.2 meter. Okay, so we have provided dimensioning like this. Next we have to provide the material. The unit weight of wall, let us consider this unit weight is 23 kilonewton per cubic meter. The unit weight of concrete, the characteristic strength of concrete is 20 Newton per mm square. The characteristic strength of concrete is considered as 20 kilonewton per 20 newton per mm square, 20 newton per mm square. Okay, so like this dimensioning is done, and the material will be providing 23 kilonewton per cubic meter as unit weight. Next we have to go to profile. Okay, let us consider three different types of soil masses are available. Let us consider the first type of soil mass is sandy silt. Okay, up to some height. Okay, up to some height. Let us consider up to a height of 2.04 meter, up to a height of this 2.04 meter. Let us consider we are having some soil mass of sandy silt. Okay, then after that let us consider we are having another type of sandy soil mass. Let us consider that is sandy clay. Okay, there may be possibility sandy clay. And third type of soil mass available here will be poorly graded soil, or GP. We consider this as GP. Okay, so we have to provide the profile of soil mass present here. So click here on profile. Okay, I think I was not audible. Okay, just a minute. Yeah, we were here. We have provided the material. Next we have to go to profile. Now under profile you have to provide the depth of soil mass, where the different soil mass are changing. Let us consider in the first layer we have sandy silt, then we have sandy clay, and below this we have some poorly graded soil. Okay, let us consider we have these three different types of soils available here. So go here in profile, click here on add, okay, click here on add, and provide a depth of 2.04 meter. Click on add. Again provide a height of 5.1 meter, and click here add. Close this one, and now go to soil, and now go to soils. Okay, Okay, here you have to provide different types of soils. So go to soils and click here on add, so just click here on add. You will get some dialog box like this. Click here on classify. You will have some option. Click here on classify. So just click here on classify. Select the soil classification. Classification will be standard. Classification type will be standard. Select the soil classification. Here first layer or top layer is sandy silt. So select sandy silt. Where is sandy silt? Okay, so select sandy silt. Yeah, we have this one here, sandy silt with firm consistency. Here you select this with firm consistency, means it will be hard to deformed by hand squeezing. So select this firm consistency and click here on OK plus assign, and click here on OK plus assign. So you click here, you will get the properties of sandy silt here. Here you have to provide the unit weight. Here you have to provide the unit weight as 18 kilonewton per cubic meter. Here the angle of friction of soil. Here you have to provide the angle of friction of soil. Here you have to provide 14. Here you have to provide 24. Here you have to provide 24. Here gamma saturated or saturated unit weight of this particular layer of soil or sandy silt, this you have to provide as 19. Just click here and click on add, and click on add here. You can see here we have one option. Click here on add, just click here. One soil mass will be, sorry, is it not, yeah, you can see here one soil mass is generated, that is sandy silt. One soil mass is generated, that is sandy silt. Next layer was of sandy clay. So again go to this, classify, again go to this classify here, click on classify, select classification type standard, soil classification as sandy clay, select sandy clay, it is here. You can see here sandy clay is here, so select this sandy clay. Again in consistency, select this consistency as firm consistency, select this as firm consistency, and go to here OK plus assign and click it, you will see some properties as are generated here. Okay, you have to provide the value of this gamma, you have to provide this value of gamma as 18.5, this angle of friction, this should be 24, this should be 24, and gamma saturated, this should be provided equal to, let us consider we have gamma saturated as 20 kilonewton per cubic meter. Click on add, you can see here the second soil property of sandy clay is generated. Next, below that layer, let us consider we have some poorly graded soil mass. So select, sorry, click on this classify again, click on this classify, select here poorly graded gravel. Let us select this poorly graded gravel or GP. Okay, density medium dense soil, we will be considering medium dense soil, and click on OK plus assign, here provide the value of unit weight of soil mass as 20, angle of friction, let us consider it is 33, and gamma saturated, let us consider it is 21 kilonewton per cubic meter. Click on add, you can see here the third type of soil profile is generated, that is poorly graded soil mass. Just close this, now you have to assign all this soil mass. You can see here we have just generated the profile, but we have not assigned the soil mass. Okay, this height was 2.04, and this height I think it was 3 point something, 3.06 or something. Okay, up to this height. Okay, so next step will be we have to assign. So for assigning these soil masses, go to this step, that is assign, go to this particular step, assign. So click on assign, and select this first soil mass, that is sandy silt, select this first soil mass, that is sandy silt, and you can see here it is already assigned, you can see here it is already assigned here. First soil type, you can see here it is already assigned. It is, I think it is difficult to see, but if you see minutely, it is already assigned. All the soil masses are assigned as sandy silt, that is first property, Okay, so we have to change the properties of second and third layer. So we'll just select this second layer, that is this layer, that is the second layer. Okay, we'll select this second layer and click here, just click here at the second, click here, just a minute, there is some, just a minute, there is some error I think, just a minute. Okay, just select this layer and click here, you will get the sandy clay. Next, click this and click here, you will get the poorly graded soil profile, Okay, like this you have to assign the different layer of soil, soils. Okay, after that we have to provide the depth of water table. So you have to go to this water option provided here. You can see here water option is provided here. So you can go here in water option, just select this water option. Okay, you will see different types of profiles here. Just if you select this X, there will be no water is available here. I will be selecting this particular profile with groundwater table behind the construction or retaining wall, and the height of this groundwater table is 1 meter. The height of groundwater level is 1 meter, and upward uplift at the footing bottom, it is not considered. We won't be considering that. So provide height equal to 1 meter and select this as not considered. So water table depth is provided. So it is like this. There will be some water table will be here, which will be underground, and this particular height, this will be 1 meter. So select this water table or water details like this. Okay, then we have to go to analysis. Okay, after this we have to go for analysis. For going for analysis, one option is given here. First we have to check the stability. We have to first check the stability of this retaining wall. So click on this stability option. Just click on this particular stability option. One new window like this will be opened. Okay, next we have to go to the stability. Click here on the stability. You will see one more new window will be there. Under this stability, just go here downside. You will see some option analysis. You will see some option like this here. One option is there, analysis. You can see here one option is there, analysis. Just click on this particular analysis and click here on the analyze option, You have to click here on the analyze option. Just click here. Okay, the stability analysis will start. Okay, you have to just wait until this process is completed. You have to wait. You can see here the analysis procedure is completed. But you can see here this says slope stability not acceptable. The slope stability is not acceptable. You can see here. So this particular retaining wall will not satisfy the slope criteria. So next what we have to do, as this particular retaining wall dimensions are not satisfying, we have to increase the dimension. So close this particular window. So just close this particular window, click on yes. Go to again on geometry, go to geometry here, geometry option is given. Just increase the dimension. Let us try a dimension of, let us consider we will be increasing the top width of stem here. I will increase this 0.2 to 0.7. Let us consider we increase this to 0.7 meter or 0.5 meter. Let us consider we increase this to 0.5 meter. Click here. Go to again the stability. This option is there. Go here to the stability. This particular option is given here. Click on this stability. You will see some such window. Under this window again you have to go downward. You will see one more option of analysis. Here. Okay, there is some lag is there, I think. Okay, you will see one more option of analysis here. Click here on this analysis option and click on analyze and click on this analyze. Just click here. The analysis will run. Wait till this analysis is completed. Wait till the analysis is completed. You can again see here the slope stability is not acceptable. Okay, sorry, I think there is some lag is there, screen lag is there. You can again see here the slope stability is not acceptable, means even if increasing the top width of this retaining wall, the analysis was not successful or the dimensions are still not acceptable. So close this window, click on yes, close this window and click on yes. Let us increase the top width of this particular stem from 0.5 to 0.7. Again go to this stability, again go to stability and again go to analysis. Here we have one more option, analysis. Click here on analysis and click here on analyze. Click here on analyze, just click here. Let us check whether this particular dimensions of retaining wall satisfies the stability requirement. Okay, the analysis is in progress, you have to wait. Okay, you can again see here, the slope stability not acceptable. The slope stability is not acceptable for these dimensions of retaining wall again. So next what we have to do, we have to again increase the dimensions of retaining wall. Why we are increasing one by one? Because we want economy at the same time, therefore we are increasing the dimensions one by one. Okay, let us increase this width of toe slab from 1.5 meter to 2 meter. Let us increase this from 1.5 meter to 2 meter. Okay, let us check what happens. Again increase this particular dimension, go to this stability, click here on stability, again go to downward, click on this analysis option, click here on analysis, click on analyze, click here on analyze, again analysis will run. You have to do this check process till you get the satisfying result. Okay, I think it won't be satisfying this time also. Let us check. Again you can see here, slope stability not acceptable. Slope stability is not acceptable, means these dimensions are still not acceptable. Still not acceptable. So till now what we have done, we have increased the dimensions of this. Let us increase this particular top width of your stem from 0.6 meter to 1 meter. Let us check what happens. So I'll increase this to 1 meter. Go to this stability again, go to this stability option, click here. Under this stability again you have one more option, that is analysis option. Click here and click here on analyze, okay, again analysis will run. Okay, wait till the analysis is completed. You can again see here, slope stability not acceptable, means this particular dimensions are still failing. So what we have to do, we have to again increase the dimensions of this retaining wall. So close this window, click on here yes. Let us now increase this particular top width from 1 meter to 1.3 meter. Let us increase this from 1 meter to 1.3 meter. Click anywhere in the window. Again go to the stability, click here. Again you will have to go to this analysis option. Click here on analysis. You will get some option like this, that is analyze. Click here on this analyze option. Again analysis will run. You have to repeat this procedure until and unless you get the satisfying results. This is a trial and error way. Okay, you can again see here, what we got: slope stability not acceptable. Slope stability is not acceptable. So these dimensions are again failing. So next what we have to do, we have to again increase the dimensions. So close this window, click here on yes. Let us increase the depth of this footing. We have the depth or thickness of this particular footing as 0.6 meter. This particular thickness here, this particular thickness, this is 0.6 meter, this is 0.6 meter. Let us increase this 0.6 to 0.8 meter. So increasing this 0.6 to 0.8 meter, 8 meter. Okay, yeah, I am increasing the slab thickness only. So I increase the slab thickness from 0.6 to 0.8 meter. Let us go for stability analysis again. Go here to this analysis option. Click here on analyze. Click here on analyze. Click here on analyze. Okay, the analysis will run. Let us check whether this satisfies or not. Let us check whether it satisfies our requirement or not, or slope stability is there or not. Okay, you can again see this particular slope stability is not acceptable. So our dimensions have failed now again. So again we have to increase some other dimension. Let us, now we have increased this dimension, this top width. Let us increase this dimension. Let us increase this width of this hill slab. Okay, let us increase from 0.3 meter to 3.5 meter. Let us increase this to 3.5 meter. Go to this stability again. Go to this analysis option. We have analysis option here. Click on analysis, analyze. Click here on analyze. Let us check whether it passes or fails. Okay, the analysis will take some time. Okay, yeah, you can see here the slope stability is acceptable. The slope stability is acceptable. So for these particular dimensions, the soil mass to be retained can be retained with these particular dimensions. Okay, so we got the slope stability acceptable option here. With this analysis is completed. With this particular analysis is completed. You can get the report by clicking here. You can get the report by just click here. You just click here. You will get the report like this. You can see here. Okay, demo version will be written here in the background. You can see it is a demo version. Okay, input data, project, setting, LRFD, stability analysis, surcharge is 0. I think surcharge is 0, live load not considered, and all these factors are given here. Okay, you can see coordinates. Then different types of soil masses we have used, their properties. You can see here we have used sandy silt in the first layer, second layer is sandy clay, and below the foundation we have some poorly graded gravel. The different properties of these soils will be given here. Different properties of soil will be given here. Okay, the soil parameters or uplift will be given like this. Okay, you can see for sandy silt we have taken the saturated unit weight as 19 kilonewton per cubic meter. For sandy clay we have taken 20 kilonewton per cubic meter. For poorly graded medium dense soil we have taken it as a 21 kilonewton per cubic meter. Then different soil parameters will be given like this. Okay, this is part of report only. Material structure. Okay, then we have properties assigned. We have assigned these this type of soil mass in this particular region. You can see here in this particular region we have provided the sandy silt soil. Then below that we have provided the sandy clay, you can see here, and below that again we have provided the sandy clay, and after that we have provided the your poorly graded soil. We have provided the poorly graded soil, which can be seen here, you can see poorly graded soil is provided here. You can see here poorly graded soil is provided. Yeah, here you can see some checks are provided. Tensile crack, no input. Earthquake, not provided. Okay, and other points are covered here.